Hi Divas, my name is Arielle. Welcome to my channel and stick around if you like fashion, lifestyle, travel, content, all these things. And let's get into today's video. We are doing a, I guess, synopsis, just learning about 6 different Vietnamese brands. When I went on my trip to Vietnam, I was really inspired by Vietnamese fashion, just the different Vietnamese brands that I was seeing, and I purchased a few items from different designers. And I actually mentioned one of the designers that I purchased from on my Vietnam trip, but I've just always been fascinated by Vietnamese style. I have heard of different Vietnamese brands before, and I just felt like this would be a cool, fun video to make. And some of these brands are like up and coming Vietnamese brands, so I am really excited to share with y'all. First brand that I want to introduce y'all to is the brand called BUPBES. The origin of this brand is in Vietnam, and the brand obviously is inspired, the name is inspired by the word dolls, and created essentially they wanted to have their brand identity be focused on creating like an environment of basically play dolls. Like their garments are pieces where you can dress yourself up, you can build a character within their different pieces. And a lot of their garments are very fun, very colorful, very creative and playful, but they also incorporate a lot of Vietnamese design elements into their brand essence. There's like a lot of different feminine elements within the brand, and I've seen that as a design element in a lot of Vietnamese brands, is that they mix a lot of feminine silhouettes, feminine fabrics and materials within their design. And within this brand there's also like a retro 70s element to the brand identity. I saw this especially with the style of hot pants that they have, and also like the sheer elements in their garments, and that's a very 70s trend. And I was very interested to see how like the 70s historical fashion was portrayed into their brand and shown in more of a modern way, to see how they expand their brand moving forward. I really just love the elements of creativity, femininity, and playfulness that they bring to their brand, because I feel like fashion is something that shouldn't just be one thing. Like it should be different, it should be creative, it should be fun, it should be playful. Like I think that's the core essence of fashion, is to be able to express yourself creatively through clothes and just create different visions of what you feel like clothing means to you, or what you feel like fashion is to you. And I feel like this brand does this very, very well. The second brand, Vietnamese brand, is Fanci Club, and this one might be more popular if you guys are into fashion and like are with fashion news and just know a lot about different fashion brands. Then you might already know Fanci Club. Fanci Club is another Vietnamese fashion brand that was started in 2018 by designer Doi Tran. And what is so interesting about his story, so designer Doi Tran was born in Long An, and that's in southern Vietnam. And he says that he's been very influenced through his brand by southern Vietnamese women, and like when you look at the brand you can really see and you can really see how that's showcased within his brand's aesthetic and identity. But what was really interesting to me when I was researching the designer is that he actually didn't really start out as a designer. He started out as a secondhand Depop seller on I'm sure you guys all know the app Depop, which is a e-commerce secondhand you can sell and buy on the app. And he started out with reworking and creating different designs and selling them on Depop, and then he grew to create his brand, Fanci Club. And what I really love about the brand is that they use a lot of just dead stock fabric and materials to create their garment pieces. And basically that is fabrics it's like leftover fabric that hasn't been used. So he uses a lot of dead stock fabrics, and he makes an effort to be sustainable with the garments that he makes. And being a circular fashion brand in this day and age in 2026 is a very important factor. I feel like if you are consciously choosing to create a fashion brand, that you have to make some efforts towards sustainability. And I love that he already had a background in secondhand fashion, with being a Depop seller and selling secondhand fashion pieces through his shop. So I find that very fascinating, and I love that that's an important key aspect of his brand's business and of his fashion brand in general. Aspect of his brand. And of course his brand celebrates and is inspired by Southern Vietnamese women, so it's celebrating femininity and sensuality, and I feel like all of his designs are very, very unique. And I have seen a lot of his things on various celebrities, and it's just very cool to see young designers create unique garments that are also aiding in the sustainability efforts throughout the fashion industry. Okay, and the third she is a stylist, or she was previously a stylist, but the third brand that I want to share with you guys is called HUELLEY Rose, and it is based out of Saigon, Vietnam, and it's founded by the designer, photographer, stylist, I'm sorry if I butchered the name, but I'm trying my best, Han Ni. In 2021, Han Ni, she was previously like a stylist and photographer. She worked a lot behind the scenes with various Vietnamese brands, and she decided to create her own fashion brand and create her own vision for what a fashion brand for her looks like. This brand is very unique, and again, like, I see the similar theme in fashion brands is celebrating femininity and celebrating silhouettes and celebrating very soft and elegant silhouettes. And her brand, which I love the brand's image and identity and reasoning behind why she started this brand, is that she wanted to have an accumulation of designs that empower women and focus on the empowerment of women, and not the focus of femininity as, I would say, less than, or fragile or frail. I think the way she portrays her brand, she's viewing femininity in a power of elegance and a power of empowering women, strong women, and there is nothing weak or frail about being feminine, and femininity is not defined by anybody but the woman. And celebrating every woman as an individual, and then celebrating that individuality, and incorporating different design elements that portray the beauty of women and portray the essence of what a feminine woman is. And it's not a specific look, but it's in her own way. So I really do enjoy that she has that as her brand identity, because I think that is important to feel like women aren't just one thing. We can be multiple things. We can be individuals. We're not just these like, you know, like women, we're not just these ditzy like people who don't know who they are. Like, women are people who know who they are. They're strong. They can still be feminine and strong and know who they are and have opinions and be empowered by that. And I love that, because I also feel the same. So yeah, and she also definitely takes importance on creating sustainability within her fashion brand and the brand identity, which I love. And I feel like in a lot of Vietnamese brands, they have that same culture, that same incorporation of sustainability and embracing that, especially because it's a textile country. A lot of things are made from Vietnam that you wear, and a lot of unsustainable, unethical things go on with factories and these corporations that have factories in East Asian countries, and it's not always ethical. And I like that these designers that are from there, who are native to Vietnam, are taking initiative and kind of like low-key like taking power back from like these corporations that come and build unethical factories in East Asian countries. And honestly, a lot of that affects the people, the native people of the country, and sustainability is an important factor. So I'm very passionate about that, honestly. I really love that, because I like also feel the same, because I could go into a whole thing about that. But maybe I'll make a different video about just like sustainability and fashion, and like where your clothes go. Like, you know, you're not just clicking a link and buying something and then like you don't want it anymore and you take it to the thrift store, and then like after that, you know, it just goes over your head. You don't really care what happens to the clothing or how it got here, who even made the clothing, like where was it even made, what is the fabric content, all these things. But nonetheless, yeah, that is the brand HUELLEY Rose, and I really love her designs. I love the brand, its core identity, which I very, very much resonate with. So yes, I'm looking forward to seeing more of HUELLEY Rose. Okay, the fourth brand that I wanted to speak about is LINISS, and this is actually the brand that if you didn't see my Vietnam haul, go and watch it. I mentioned that I bought a pair of fabric. I love the construction of the pants. Like, they're just very well made, very good quality, which I love. And just looking into the brand, I'm just like, ooh, I want more pieces. I was actually looking at a lot of pieces when I went to when I was buying the pants that I have. But yeah, let's get into LINISS. So LINISS was founded in Saigon, Vietnam, and it's a contemporary brand. And this brand really celebrates the mix of different silhouettes, the mix of like edginess, but also femininity, but also like maximalist silhouettes, a lot of different textures and design materials used in their different garments. So I thought that was really interesting. And there's definitely an essence of like edginess, like I said, but also like tailoredness. Is that a word? But also like tailored pieces and just bold pieces, which is very, very interesting, and I find it very intriguing. So this brand is like really unique with their designs. Like, I can tell that it's like a mix of streetwear but also feminine it's like it makes streetwear look very feminine, which is nice because sometimes when you do the oversized look, you can look very not feminine, and sometimes some people want a consumer, the ideal customer, the ideal persona that they want. I feel like it's women who like to dress, like to have oversized garments, but don't want to look like they're swallowing in them, and doesn't like flatter their body, like. And that's where the tailoring comes in, and like I feel like they really do a good job. From what I purchased, like they do a good job of like tailoring the body to not make it look like insane, and like really take effort in the details of the garment, which I am appreciative of. And honestly, I can't wait to style the pants that I do have, and I definitely will be purchasing more from them. Hopefully like the taxes and fees from getting it from Vietnam isn't too much, but I will look into that. But like I really do enjoy the brand, and I really wanted to buy so many things from the brand, but I was like, let me chill, let me just only buy like one piece and see how I like it, and I love it. So definitely check this brand out. And yeah. Okay, so the fifth brand that I'm going to be talking about is the namesake brand of Do Tan Long, and the brand is Do Long. He is a Vietnamese fashion designer, consultant, and stylist. In 2016, he transitioned his career from being a stylist to being a designer. Don't we love that? Being from a back of the house to front facing. Well, I guess you could say designers are still behind the scenes, but it's like in a different way. You have your own brand, so you're kind of more front facing when you're the creative of a brand. And he's located in Saigon. The brand is located in Saigon, Vietnam, which is southern Vietnam. And so primarily the brand consists of menswear and evening gowns. A lot of the brand has been on different celebrities, and the designer really focuses on elegant evening wear, and his most recent collection, emerged fall winter 2025, was beautiful. It was stunning. It consisted of a lot of different leather fringe elements, like belted elements in the design, and I loved it. I watched the show on YouTube, and it was really stunning, honestly. I love when creativity, I love when people are like think out of the box and are very creative, and the designs are unique. And Do Long has been on red carpets, like styling celebrities for carpets, and them wearing his designs. So I'm really inspired by his creativity, honestly. I'm inspired by how beautiful his pieces look, how beautiful the garments look. Like honestly, it's like, that's crazy, like that you, like as being creative, you think of something and then you put it into fruition. You don't really know how it's going to execute, but like I feel like he probably thought of this specifically, and like it was executed so beautifully. And the tailoring just is so good. The tailoring in Vietnam is really done very well. So the last and final brand that I wanted to talk about is Aeie Studios, and it was founded by designer Quosh Bae Trang. I'm sorry if I butchered the name. Quosh Bae Tang, and also co-owner and also founded by Truong Thuy Do. And this brand is based in Saigon, Vietnam, so southern Vietnam. What I really like about this brand is, like, with this brand, a lot of their designs are very experimental, and They're inspired by creating things that don't look alike, and every single piece is uniquely made. And the way that their brand works is basically that they come out with different collections, but they don't remake the same thing, and essentially they archive a lot of their collections. So like a lot of their pieces are either like when you caught the collection, you caught it and you were able to buy the piece, but if you weren't, then it just becomes part of their archive. They are generally making experimental designs and archiving them. With that aspect to their brand, that's basically making the brand more alluring to the consumer and wanting the consumer to really be able to get that one-of-one piece before it's archived, and to really have one piece that embraces individuality and knowing that it's something that other people don't have. So it's kind of a essence of exclusivity as well within their brand. But also, this is a newer brand, so I think they're just kind of seeing what works for their brand, experimenting with different designs, being as basically openly creative, and being able to be as creative as possible within making different designs. I'd say that it's inevitable for various fashion brands to find inspiration in vintage fashion, find inspiration in fashion history, to incorporate into their brand's identity and the essence of their brand. But with this brand, the 90s styles that's incorporated within their brand is really the muted tones of pinks, purples, silvers, and also showcasing cutouts in their designs, especially like with the trousers. There's like cutout pieces, and there's also sheer elements and details, which is also something that was very trendy and prominent within 90s fashion. And also another element that I saw throughout their designs is that they implement a lot of choker details within their garments, and that is also reminiscent of 90s. So I'm really excited to see what Aeie Studios does in the future. I'm really excited to see more of their designs, more of their collections, and their brand's identity. So pretty much my final thoughts and just notes on Vietnamese brands and fashion. I really love that a lot of them are incorporating an essence of femininity and incorporating sustainability, and really observing the fact that that's an important part in fashion. And especially since Vietnam is a textile country, I know that a lot of designers put forth the energy into a key notion of their brand. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned more about different Vietnamese fashion brands to look out for. Definitely make sure you follow along my YouTube channel and like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. I will definitely be doing more videos about fashion. I mean, that is my main focus. I am very passionate about it. So that's that, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye y'all.